Namaskar, dear facilitators. Have you sometimes struggled to introduce the subject of political science to class 11 students? Do you feel difficulty in bridging the students' previous knowledge about the subject to the new topics to be taught in class 11th? We are surrounded by various political events, ideas and developments occurring on daily basis, affecting us directly or indirectly. But are we able to teach our students the importance of reading newspapers to be an aware citizen, or for a better understanding of the subject that they are going to study, that is political science? Let us discuss how a change in teaching pedagogy can help make our class interesting with our learners. For further discussion, let us focus on the book Indian Constitution at Work for students of class 11th. We may begin with the previous knowledge testing of the students. So, we may commence by asking our students some inquiry-based questions like, firstly, why should a society be governed? Or, why should there be a government? Students may answer that a society will be civilized if it is governed, or there will not be any anarchy or lawlessness, or they may give any other relevant answer. Having got satisfactory answers to the question of need of having government, now we may ask our students about the different possible forms of government. Here, students may be guided to give their answers. Answers may range from monarchy, dictatorship, democracy, etc. Here, the facilitator may steer the discussion in the desired direction. They may be asked to compare the various forms of government. This way, we may also teach values like respect for democracy and democratic principles. The next leading question may be, what is the type of government we have in India? We may get multiple answers like parliamentary form of government or maybe democracy. At this time, the facilitator may hint the students to bring the topic of how to govern a country, or where are the rules governing India mentioned. In this way, the answer solicited is Constitution. You may further ask the class probing questions like, who prepared Indian Constitution? How was the Indian Constitution written? Clarifying these questions, we bring our students to the title of the book, Constitution at Work. Dear facilitators, in today's discussion, we will suggest experiential learning through projects for introducing the political science book, Indian Constitution at Work. And we will use checklist of Kolb's experiential learning, that is, activity, reflection, conceptualization and application for this session. I must emphasize that reflection is a very important step while we as teachers plan our lessons. It is important to be clear as to what we expect our students to do and understand at the end of the activity. Therefore, the learning objectives for our students at the end of project presentation will be: firstly, to enable students to prepare a constitution using previous knowledge. Secondly, to promote teamwork among students. Thirdly, to improve presentation skills of students. Fourthly, to inculcate constitutional values amongst our learners. And finally, to appreciate enabling provisions which are available in the constitution of various countries across the world. And the learning outcomes will be that our students will be able to design a prototype constitution at the end of activity. Students will present the main parts or provision of the constitution to the class through a group presentation. The expected outcomes should be made clear to the class in the beginning of the activity. You may start by dividing the class into group of 6 to 8 students. Groups will be asked to have a mock constitution drafted. One group may be assigned the responsibility to present the enabling provisions of some other countries' constitutions like Saudi Arabia, South Africa, etc. With the help of this knowledge, we may further like the class to discuss any new provisions they would want to add to the Constitution of India. Therefore, our tool for assessment and the criteria should be identified at this step. We may say that it is the creative thinking on which the assessment may be based. Let us start with stage 1 of Kolb's experiential learning cycle, that is, activity. At this stage, we have to begin with the presentations of the constitution drafted by the groups of students. Before these presentations, you may ask curiosity-based questions leading to the understanding of the meaning and need of constitution in any country. If the class is able to present a suitable understanding of the term constitution and its significance, we may proceed to ask if they can recall what provisions are given in the constitution as studied in the earlier classes. At this stage, the concept of preamble may be introduced, explained, and critically discussed in the class. Given the time, we may give some information about objective resolution also. You may steer the discussion by giving appropriate hints to the class to develop a common understanding on the topic. Now, at this time, we have a choice to reflect and make a note of the different questions we asked, or we could have asked our students in stage 1. This is actually the step 2 of the Kolb's experiential learning cycle, which is reflection. This feedback helps facilitators for continuous improvement on the class activities. However, if you want, this reflection may be done at the end of complete task. After being reasonably satisfied that students have been brought to a common expected level of understanding, they should be asked to start working in groups and discuss what all provisions would they like their country's constitution to have. During this week of preparations, we should be available to our students for clarifying any doubts that they may have. Students may be given hint to check out the index of their NCERT book and find out important provisions that the Indian Constitution possess. Groups may be clearly explained what is expected from their Constitution in terms of number of provisions, specifying the word limit, giving them a time limit for presentation, and the extent of explanation of these chosen provisions. For instance, you may specify that there should be a title page, a page of introduction, half a page to 1 page of explanation of every feature which the students wish to add in their drafted constitution, and the file may end with some annexure. Dear facilitators, at this time, if you want to integrate technology in the activity, students may be asked to submit the file and make presentation through PowerPoint presentation on projector to the whole class. Number of slides to be designed and the total duration of presentation must be specified. In case you want a discussion on each group's proposed constitution, the class should be told this also in advance so that they are prepared. Time limit for every constitutional discussion and cross-questioning or clearing of the doubts should also be specified. This way, after 1 week of preparation, presentations may be scheduled in the class. At the end of each presentation, the house should be open for deliberations and questioning by other group members for a certain specified duration of time. You may assess each group on a set of criteria by developing rubrics reflected intended students' learning outcome for designing a constitution. A suggested rubrics may include creativity in the title page, wordings of the preamble, coverage of various provisions which the students wish to add in their drafted constitution, and the explanation of these chosen provisions. The presentation may be separately assessed on confidence while presenting, communication skills, ability to handle queries, body language, etc. Similarly, the PowerPoint presentation may also be assessed on certain criteria like slide design, the content on slides, use of font, its size and colors, etc. After the project presentation, we move ahead to stage 2 of reflection again. In this stage, we have to revisit all the areas of stage 1. This means we may reflect on if we were able to initiate students into our discussion smoothly, or there could have been an alternative method of testing and activating prior knowledge. We must make a note of the same to be checked while planning another task with the same class, same task with other section, or any other class for any other topic. We may also reflect on different questions we could have asked our students in stage 1. We may consider a different method of presentation to be given to students in the next activity. As mentioned earlier also, such a reflection may even be done at the end of complete activity or at the end of every step. This helps us decide as to what all went well and what all did not go as expected while planning or executing students' presentations. We may choose different methods, form different groups, or frame different questions for testing the previous knowledge of our students. With this, we approach stage 3 of conceptualization, where using reflection, we ponder as to why some things went as per plan and why other things did not. We may also reflect why some expectations were met and why some areas did not work out as planned. Here, the reason for achieving or not achieving students' learning outcomes are to be pondered upon by the facilitator. And we now come to the final stage 4 of application, in which we would think and plan to make our students' learning experience better in the other sections. We may also plan to use continuous improvement method to apply for some other topic in the same class, or applying any other tool of experiential learning to some other topic in some other class. The experiential learning tool suggested in our discussion today is project-based learning, which can touch upon all the 3 domains of Bloom's taxonomy. Students understand the meaning and importance of Constitution and apply this knowledge to design their own Constitution. Here, we are referring to the cognitive domain. By presenting their preferred provisions to be a part of the Constitution, students demonstrate values they aspire for and express their opinions. Working in a team, they may be required to reconcile difference of opinions. And we are now talking about the affective domain. By learning to make a presentation to class, students may learn public speaking. Designing a PowerPoint presentation also will hone their skills of MS Office. Similarly, many constitutional values can be taught to the class through this activity. For example, when students are made to think of the provisions they want in their constitutions, we may inculcate the respect for justice, freedom, equality, to name a few. While making group presentations, we may inculcate the values of team spirit, empathy, group cohesiveness, discipline, confidence, etc. While the facilitator introduces the concepts of constitution and its relevance in the country, values like sovereignty, democracy, and republic can be taught to the students. What we have discussed today is a kind of brain teaser. You, with your own experience and creativity, can further plan specific topic related activities like youth parliament while you are teaching chapters of legislature to class 11th. At this point, I'd like to share a small clipping of organizing of mock youth parliament in a school. Let's watch it.
माननीय सांसद एवं अध्यक्ष महोदय,
You are requested to take your seat, honorable members. I quickly welcome you all to the monsoon session of Youth Parliament. I hope the session will go on peacefully. Now, members to take oath or affirmation. Secretary General, please.
Ms. Harman Kaur, who is elected from the Amritsar constituency of Punjab, will now take the oath or affirmation. Ms. Harman Kaur. Ma'am, would you like to take the oath or affirmation?
Oath, please.
In which language would you like to take the oath?
पंजाबी। मैं ਹਰਮਨ ਕੌਰ ਯੂਥ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਦੀ ਹੇਠਲੇ ਸਦਨ ਦੀ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਚੁਣਨ ਜਾਣ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਂ 'ਤੇ ਸਹੁੰ ਖਾਂਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਦੁਆਰਾ ਸਥਾਪਿਤ ਕੀਤੇ ਗਏ ਭਾਰਤ ਦੇ ਸੰਵਿਧਾਨ ਪ੍ਰਤੀ ਵਿਸ਼ਵਾਸ ਅਤੇ ਵਫਾਦਾਰੀ ਰੱਖਾਂਗੀ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਪ੍ਰਭੂਸੱਤਾ ਅਤੇ ਪ੍ਰਭੂਸੱਤਾ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਇਮ ਰੱਖਾਂਗੀ, ਭਾਰਤ ਦੀ ਅਖੰਡਤਾ ਅਤੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਉਸ ਫਰਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਵਫਾਦਾਰੀ ਨਾਲ ਨਿਭਾਵਾਂਗੀ ਜਿਸ ਫਰਜ਼ 'ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਦਾਖਲ ਹੋਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਹਾਂ।
Ms. Naina, who is elected from the Kolkata constituency of West Bengal, will now take the oath or affirmation. Ms. Naina. Ma'am, would you like to take the oath or affirmation?
Oath, please.
In which language would you like to take the oath?
বেঙ্গলি। আমি নেনা যুব সংসদে নিম্নকুকে সদস্য নির্বাচিত হয়ে ঈশ্বরী নামে শপথ করছি যে আমি আইন দ্বারা প্রতিষ্ঠিত ভারতীয় সংবিধানে প্রতি সত্যিকারে ভারতীয় বিশ্বাস ও অনুগত রাখব, যে আমি সার্বভৌমত্ব সমুন্নতে রাখব এবং ভারতীয় করতে পারছে তবে বিশ্বাসের সাথে পালন করব।
Here, let me show you a small clipping of how mock general elections were conducted in school for junior students. In this video, classes 5 and 6 can be seen participating in mock elections. Some candidates of various political parties are seen convincing voters to vote for them. Students stand in a queue to vote. They are explained about the voter I-card and election symbols. They also get their fingers inked. Here, we explained to our students the changing methods of voting and the currently used electronic voting machine. Thus, mock elections may be planned for any grade in the school. These activities, like mock parliament and mock elections, may also be planned under the hubs of learning, where a single setup by one school of the hub can be used by other schools to explain the phenomena to their students. Alternatively, the hub schools may pool in their resources and organize such activities at a mutually agreed upon month of the academic year. I'm sure you like this video. With so many classes involved, we may also have a delimitation commission set up, and mock constituencies may also be designed. Students' parties may be asked to design an election manifesto also. At the end of this mock drill, Class 11 students could be engaged in a critical appraisal of the concluded mock elections. In classroom, they may be asked to suggest changes or improvements in the way elections were conducted if another round of mock elections was to be organized in the school. This reflection will actually introduce our students to another topic of the chapter, that is electoral reforms. Students may also be asked to discuss the functions of delimitation commission in particular in the current times after a long gap of more than 70 years. This activity may be designed as a group activity, and a small area or constituency may be allocated for discussion of seats for both State Legislative Assembly and for the Lok Sabha, given the rise in total number of voters in the constituency under consideration. These are some suggested activities which may be planned and executed to each specific topics in our classrooms. Dear facilitators, we are suggested to devote 12 periods for teaching chapter 1 of the Constitution book. We will be comfortably able to read the textbook chapter, complete these activities, and assess students' level of understanding within this time period. With this, I would like to conclude our discussion today. Happy learning. Namaskar.